and welcome to today's Wellness Wednesday workshop. Today I'm going to be continuing our 90-day workout protocol, our 90-day goal setting for the next few weeks. And today I want to talk about workouts and how you set a 90-day goal with some kind of workout, in mind, but I'm going to give you a really simple example that can easily be adjusted for whatever your favorite combination of activities are. So let's get started. I'm Vicki Whipking. I'm your host, and I have been working with professional women to help them amp up their lifestyles and really bring their best selves to the table. And I don't take that lightly, for like the last 12 years or so. And over the last 12 years and the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of case studies that I've done, I have distilled it down into a really amazing way to get high performance results out of all of my coaching clients. So more on that later. For right now, let's just kind of kick back and chill. This is your moment to just focus on you. I really take Wednesdays, and I didn't make up the Wellness Wednesday thing, but you know what? It really makes sense midweek to kind of pause and take a half a step back and to check in with yourself and make sure that you're still on track and not just scrambling towards Friday. So I really encourage you to be here now. Turn off your devices, maybe you close the door, grab a little something to drink. Today I have a little oat milk mocha, instant espresso mocha kind of happening right now, and it's delicious. I'm going to take a sip while you all get settled. And honestly, the most important thing that you can do for your health and well-being is to just be here now. Whatever you're focusing on right now, put all of your attention on it. There are 1,000 things grabbing for your attention, and you really have to be super vigilant about only focusing in on the most important thing right now. And it's hard to know that, and it's especially hard to know what that is if you've got like a 90-day goal and you're like, what the heck do I do today? We're going to solve that problem with your workouts today, starting right now. So, are you with me? The 90-day workout protocol. So if you're thinking about any kind of goal between now and 90 days, it will be sometime in June. It'll be like June 11th or something like that. You need to figure out why you're doing this. Why am I going to do these goals? Losing 20 pounds is great, or losing weight is great, but it has to be more than that. For the Disneyland trip, that needs to be, an extra little reason why you're doing all of this. And you need to set a SMART goal. And maybe that means to be able to walk 5 miles a day, because you should be able to do that and feel comfortable in Disneyland. That's a SMART goal. But what I mean by SMART goals, SMART, it's simple, measurable. Let me see if I can remember all of these. We're going to talk about them next week. Simple, measurable. I want to say accountable, but I don't think that's right. Realistic and timely is a SMART goal. More on that next week, so stay with me, or you can look it up. I'm not sure if I got all of those right. I forgot to memorize those today. And I want you to visualize yourself reaching your goal. And so if you've never used the law of attraction before, we're going to talk more about that in a later portion of our 90-day goal setting. But really, you have to see yourself doing the activities. So if you're going to walk 5 miles a day in Disneyland, that's a great visual of you keeping up with your kids, or maybe it's your grandkids, of you pushing that stroller and going nonstop, because kids at Disneyland, they can go forever and then they crash, right? And you got to go forever and keep up with them and hold up the fort and not crash. That's a pretty, you can see yourself in those scenarios a lot. Whatever your goal is, or whatever you're doing, whatever your reason why is, it's got to be something that's juicy, something that you can visualize yourself doing. And the more you see yourself being successful with it, and the more you see yourself doing the steps that are necessary, then when it boils down to today and what do I do, if you've put in some of that mental sort of mindset energy into your goal, you're going to want to do the things that will get you to your goal. We're kind of working from 90 days backwards to today, and I'm going to keep talking about that. So that's the first thing. Figure out what you're doing and why you're doing it, and really see yourself, as the person who will do the things that, get you to the goal. Another thing that we need to do is, break it down. So like I said, we're looking 90 days out. How do we break it down into something that's actionable and measurable and timely, and I can actually figure out from where I want to be in 90 days, how do I get it to be to a simple set of tasks that I have to do today so that I can stay on track and know what I need to do to get to my goal today and every day. So breaking it down, or sometimes we call it chunking it down, so working it backwards. So you need to have that 90-day goal, a 60-day goal, a 30-day goal, and a 7-day goal. You could have even smaller goals in between that, but that's a 7, I'll show you another little different kind of scenario in one of my examples, but a 7-day, 30-day, 60, starting out, you're going to have to keep reassessing as you go with these. Then create your plan, cardio, strength training, stretching, maybe that's yoga, Pilates, and dance, maybe that's hiking and weightlifting and yoga. Did I say yoga already? You can see where I gravitate towards. And figure out, okay, so how many yoga days do I need each week? How many strength training days do I need each week? How many walking days do I need each week? How many times do I want to go to a class each week versus stay home or get outside? And then look at your, week and how it shapes up, and try to figure out where those things fit into which days and when during the day, because your schedule is probably different during the day. Sometimes an early morning something would be great for like Pilates or yoga. Sometimes an afternoon thing is nice for a long hike or a walk or something with the kids. It just depends on, the day and what you're doing, but you really need to look at all the different components of your workout and see how they fit together. And especially thinking of, how am I going to get to that 90-day goal? What are the things I need to be able to do to get to that Disneyland trip? Like I said, walk 5 miles a day or something like that. And then make that schedule. So for me, on Mondays, I walk. Tuesdays, I do yoga. Wednesdays, I do dance. Thursdays, I do strength training. Fridays, I do... it's usually a toss-up day if I go out and be active or if I rest, and depending on what I'm doing that Saturday. Sunday is usually a longer hike or a ski day or a rafting day. It just depends on the time of year. And I try to vary it and also walk on additional days, for shorter periods, and always try to be kind of stretching in my morning or evening routines as needed. So there's a lot of ways to squeeze a lot of exercise and activity into your week. Don't feel like you have to do giant workouts or, go to the gym for hours and hours and hours if that's not what you've already been doing. Start small, start where you are. Maybe you want to challenge yourself a little bit. And boy, when I was looking at my stats from last week, I don't know how I'm going to keep up with last week. Last week was monster. I did like 35 miles on skis or hiking in the woods. And it was just like, okay, so what am I going to do this week to, stay with that trend? And, the point is you can't always. There's going to be ebbs and flows in your energy levels and your activity levels, but you want to have a baseline. So you can say, what do I need to do today? And actually, if you've already scheduled it in, you just say, oh, today's Tuesday. Okay, today's yoga day, whatever it is. So put it in writing. Oops, I didn't mean for all those to come up at the same time, but they're there. So when you're prioritizing a workout, it's so easy to blow yourself off and be like, oh, I can just get that in later and I have to, do this other task first or whatever. You have to figure out where you can fit it in. And if you're not fitting in enough activity for yourself, you need to say no to something else. It's really that simple. And when you schedule it in, you got to stick to it just like any other appointment. Use a journal to track your progress. So if it's, a handwritten journal, great. If it's an app on your phone, great. I personally use a combination of both. And you can't know how you're doing unless you write it down. And when I went over my stats for last week, I was like, whoa, that was a pretty active week. And there's no reason why every week can't be honestly that active. So it helps you to, kind of gauge how you're doing and see where your weaknesses are. And then it'll encourage you to want to keep it up, right? Your knowledge is power. Your data, your journal, your tracking, your stats, that's power for sure. And then get a buddy to witness your success. So one trusted friend. I'm not saying to put it out there on social that you're going on some diet or doing some marathon training. Just tell one person. Maybe it's a buddy from the gym or a class. Maybe it's somebody at work that you kind of talk to a little bit and say, hey, can I check in with you on, Mondays to tell you how I'm doing, or Fridays, or whenever it's convenient. And there's no judgment about what you did or didn't do. It's just like, well, here it is. Here's my week. Oh, okay. And then when you have someone to keep you accountable, you're going to want to do better. It's just human nature. And if you don't want to do better and you know that you're going to have to report, then there's a big sign that there's something else going on if you're, really not able to rise up to small goals every day. A small goal is what we're going for. You don't have to start running a marathon tomorrow. Like that's just silly, right? But the health and fitness industry makes you feel like you should, right? All right. So, and then once you put it in writing, you need to amp it up, because you have some good intentions, and maybe you kind of start off with, some good motivation, and, you're doing great for a week or two. You got to keep putting in on that kind of energy. So that's why those stats are awesome. But don't worry if you had a bad day, like when I looked back at my stats, I was like, okay, well, maybe I had a day of rest in there and very low activity, but I also did 6 miles on skis. So that's enough, right? Like they balance out, hopefully. Increase your workout in small increments. Be okay with where you are now, and then take it up a notch, and then do that for a while, and then take it up a notch. And that will kind of naturally happen. Don't feel like you have to stick to somebody else's schedule or program. Like, modify it for you. And then I want you to plan a juicy reward for yourself. A daily reward could be something like my little oat milk instant espresso mocha here I've got going on. A weekly reward, maybe that is meeting a friend for a shopping date or something. A monthly reward, maybe that is going for a massage and a mani-pedi. Small, medium, large. And hopefully they're not food or beverage based. But you really, if you know that goal is out there, and that's I'm going to buy that new workout outfit or something, or I'm going to invest in, a ski pass or something. It's just like, okay, that's my reward. Let's work for it. And again, no judgment. Just got to get there. Just got to try your best and get there and keep working on it. And if you don't feel like you really earned your reward, well, maybe you deserve it anyway for even trying. But that's secondary to, hopefully it's something that maybe it's connected to your purpose. I'm going to buy that outfit for the Disneyland trip or something like that after 2 weeks or 6 weeks, or when I get to a certain place. Whatever it is, make it something that is not self-destructive, if you know what I mean. A reward is not going out for margaritas with the girls and overindulging. If you're going to do that, make that choice, fine, record it, have it, make up for it later, fine. But that's not the reward. The reward is something that keeps you going in a positive, powerful way, but something that you look forward to. Believe me, you can have both. Okay, let's put it together. So stay with me now. And by no means is this the end all be all of calculations. And if my math is a little off, forgive me, but I think I can at least illustrate in this example how you need to be really consistent and how you need to break things down a little bit. So if you look on the right, generally it's 3,500 calories to 1 pound. So you'd have to burn or have a deficit of 3,500 calories to lose a pound over a period of time, obviously. 100 calories are burned per mile, and 10,000 steps for every 5 miles. Or would that be 2,000 steps per mile? Is that right? So if you wanted to lose a pound a week to get yourself, a lot of us are not starting where we can be like, okay, I'm ready to lose a pound a week. Let's go. Let's hit it. I'm ready to do the 5 miles a day. Most of us are not quite there. So if 2.5 miles a day is a stretch for you, maybe that's a good goal for the first 2 weeks. And then bring it up a half and a half and a half and a half and just kind of keep going. And you see how I put my goal at 90 days, 5 miles, and I just worked it back. And I figured out what sounded reasonable. So 2.5 miles per day is actually very reasonable. And if you're not having enough time or motivation to give yourself that much per day, stick with me because in a couple of Wednesdays, we're going to talk about how to fit all of this into your schedule specifically. But if you look at this, over day 1 through 90, you would have gone, if you followed this plan every day, more or less, again, forgive my calculations, you may come up with something more specific, but in general, you would have gone about 337 miles. That's a lot. That's a lot. You're doing like 100 miles a month almost. And you break that down, and that's like 25 miles a week. And you break that down, it's almost like 5 miles a day, except, I'm breaking that into weekdays. And, you have to have a day of rest in there somewhere. So this is all approximate. You probably would burn around 33,000 calories. And if you decrease, like I said up here, 500 calories a day, every day for 90 days, you would have decreased 45,000 calories. And doing just the simple math now, body mechanics, physiology, metabolism, other factors are all at play here. So this is not, just simple, straightforward math equals your result. But in general, in this example, if you were just to do this plan over 90 days, you would probably lose 20 pounds, something like that. Again, this is very general. Everyone's different, but what would it be like if you lost 20 pounds? 20 pounds. Wow. How would Disneyland feel 20 pounds later? What would you be able to do? How would you look? How would you feel about yourself? How would other people look at you and treat you? Not that that's the most important thing, because it's not, but which is why I listed it last. But, that often comes up with, some reasons why we're fearful or hold back. And this is just walking. This example right here is just brisk walking. Not power walking or speed walking, but brisk walking, like you got somewhere to go. It's nothing radical. It's nothing major. And 5 miles a day, I would think you could get in about an hour-ish, hour and a half once you really got going, depending on your level and stuff. An hour and 15 minutes, you could probably do about 5 miles, I would think, if you were really, ready for it. And if you worked yourself up, it would just become easy, right? I would never, ever suggest to somebody to start walking 5 miles a day right off the bat. It's really hard to do. But everyone's like, oh, I got to get to 10,000 steps, got to get to 10,000 steps. Yeah, it's possible to walk 10,000 steps tomorrow, but you probably wouldn't walk 10,000 steps the next 2, 3, 4 days if you've never walked 10,000 steps before. You know what I mean? Be okay with starting slow. And if you want to know how to decrease 500 calories a day, next week I'm going to be talking about the 90-day delicious and nutritious meal plan so that you can actually decrease the 500 calories a day. I'm going to show you ways that it is so easy to do that. And then also how to plan out your meals so that you're never caught with having to go through drive-through or, being hangry or something like that. Like, I'm going to show you from menu planning step all the way to the enjoying of it steps all the way through, and it's going to be awesome. So stay with me next week. But this is, a nice, easy, basic plan. If you were running this much, you'd burn more calories for sure. Not everybody's a runner. You don't have to run to lose weight, but running would be a little bit higher intensity and you'd probably burn more calories. Would you enjoy it more? I don't know. It depends on the person. I may not, but I think other people would. So do what's right for you. And I encourage you to go, you can just look up this math about walking calories, or maybe if you're using an app, that counts your walking steps. I have a great app on my phone that, I can punch in kickboxing and it will tell me how many calories burned per hour, So the apps out there are really amazing. This is just for walking. If you're going to do swimming, or if you're going to do dance, or if you're going to do something else, your calculation here is going to be a little bit off. But, 100 calories burned per mile. So if you were to, day 31 to 45, where you're at 3.5 miles per day, if you did an activity in there where you burned, 3,500 calories in a different way, then, you're still doing the 100 calories per mile. You're still at your goal. You're still at your pace. Does that make sense? But don't make it complicated. And for most of us, walking is fine. And I think a lot of you will find that you're going to do the walking and then you're also going to do some stretching. And then you're also going to feel like maybe doing some push-ups or some squats or some leg lifts or something else. It's going to spur you on to be more active. I really hope. And if all you're doing is walking 5 miles a day, that's pretty darn fantastic. So just think about how by mid-June, you could be on track to be walking 5 miles a day and walk 5 miles a day. June, July, August, September, October. Absolutely. No matter, depending on where you live, and the snow comes back hopefully somewhere around October, November, but you could still be doing 5 miles a day. You'd be unstoppable. What if you did this for 180 days and lost 40 pounds? And again, it's not as simple as just doing this kind of math and saying, well, that's what I should be getting. And so if I don't get that, then I didn't get to my goal. It's not exactly what I'm saying, but you see the possibility here. And I hope you can see how you can chunk it down and kind of realistically see, okay, what do I really need to do in order to get to this, in order to burn enough calories or in order to be active enough? And this is a very sensible plan. Some of you might feel great just walking 3.5 miles a day. And that's enough for you. Totally fine. That's totally fine. Some of you don't have 22 pounds to lose. Some of you have more, some of you have less. Maybe you don't need to lose it all in 90 days. And I'm not saying, 22 pounds in 90 days. Let's see, how many weeks is that? Let me think about that. That's about 2 pounds a week. That is really at the high performance edge of it. If you're really hitting it and things are working for you and it's straightforward process for you, that would be the upper edge. What if you just lost 10 pounds? 10 pounds by the beginning of summer. Yeah, I'll take it. That would be amazing. I also hope you see how much work really has to go into burning a pound. You can't just not eat and think you're going to drop a pound. I hear this all the time, especially from one person that I know, always saying something like, I'm going to drop 40. And it's just like, well, you've been trying to drop 40 for 40 years now. So how's that working for you? It doesn't work. Slow and steady. And, it doesn't really take a lot to change your habits. And you can start wherever you are right now, doing something that's amazing for you and really enjoy living a healthy lifestyle, because I know you want to. I know you want to stop wasting time and get those thoughts out of your head that keep you from becoming that person that you want to be, that vision that you have of who you would be if you were on top of your game. So you could do it two different ways. One I would call the hard way, where you would take years and years of training, do tons and tons of research, spend a lot of money on teachers and experiences and traveling and workshops and all of that stuff. Do 10, 12 years of case studies, create your own program where it puts all of those elements together, and then you'd be able to start living that healthy lifestyle. You did all of the homework, all of the research. Sounds fun to me, because you know what? That is what I did. But I tell you, that is the hard way. That is the hard way. The easy way would be to follow a plan that was comprehensive enough to lead you through all of the steps necessary to change your lifestyle and create transformation for you once and for all. Because I have totally been there. I'm not just like sharing something that I whipped up out of like a couple of webinars or something like that. Like, this is how I revamped my lifestyle and how I have helped my clients, my high performance coaching clients who are creating their own businesses, how I've helped them revamp their lifestyles so that they're able to do that. They're able to show up for their business and they're able to show up for their families. It's worked for me. It's worked for dozens and dozens of my students at this point, and I'm so excited every time they get to module 1, 2, or 3, and they're like, this is so cool. I just do it and it just happens. It's just as if you're reading a blueprint for your body, mind, and spirit. And all of those aspects and elements of your well-being get put together in a way that just clicks. It's called the Mind Body Blueprint online course. And yes, this is a culmination of some of the most fundamental things that when somebody comes to me and says, Vicki, I want to hire you as my coach. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm starting from square one. What do they need to know? How can I get them from point A to point B, or from 0 to 10 as fast as possible, so that they can really start working on their core issues and stop getting hindered by the things that aren't working for them in their lifestyle or their habits or their thinking. And I've distilled it down into a really simple online course. It's 6 different modules that go through mindset, workouts, nutrition, productivity and scheduling, stress relief, sleep and self-care, gratitude, abundance, and goal setting. It's all in there. And I just hold your hand and I lead you right on through the process. I give you emails each week that help you walk yourself through everything. It's really a gentle system that is not extreme. It's not crazy. In fact, I'll talk you down from that every time. One of my clients, she is like an extreme athlete bodybuilder, and I'm getting her to soften a little bit as she sees that is better for her in the place that she is in her life with her family and everything, and time and needs and things. And she's really, I'm so proud of her that she's like able to soften that up a little and still be who she is and still take awesome care of herself. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to be great with where you are, but always be improving, but finding that sweet spot of balance between what you have to do and what you love to do, what feels like a challenge and what feels nurturing, a balance between being productive and being restful, a balance between being in charge and allowing the universe to work. It's just really amazing once you kind of get into your own flow. And it's 6 modules that are online, and you just walk yourself right through. There's homework that you can submit directly to me, and I give you feedback. I email you bonus material so you can always be amping it up. All the Q&A is just basically you do your homework or get on our Facebook group, and I'm right here for you. There's nobody else. It's me. And once you're in, you're in. I also do weekly webinars on Monday nights where I go through all of the different modules successively, and I put a different tweak on it. Like you might guess, this around we're doing 90-day goals, and I'm walking them through all of the materials in the Mind Body Blueprint every Monday night, one module at a time every week. It's awesome. It's interactive. It keeps you straight. I love doing it. And I really, can't get over how fundamental things like mindset, meditation, just your state of being and how you take charge of your life is so fundamental to the success you may or may not have doing a workout or doing a program of some sort where it's like diet and exercise related. If you don't have that mindset in there, you're not going to get the results that you really, really want. Also, if you don't understand your body type and what kind of exercises work for your body type, if you don't understand what kind of nutrition you need for your body type, if you're not sure about how to put together a meal plan or a workout plan, all of this is right in the Mind Body Blueprint. It's going to walk you through step by step so that you can be understanding what you're doing, how to change it, what the right things might be for you, how to know what the right things are for you, because I'm not prescribing you a specific diet plan. You're creating it yourself based on the tools and resources that I'm giving you. And once you have it down, it's amazing. And then it starts snowballing on itself. So you start learning how to work these practices of diet and exercise and mindfulness into your daily routine. And I help you with law of attraction so that you're always on that, higher thinking mindset and keep your progress going. It's really fantastic once, like I said, I see my clients when they're like, I visualized it, I used the law of attraction, and it happened, and it came true, and I got the job. And I was like, I know, right? When you align yourself, when you eliminate those time wasters, when you stop doing the wrong things and focus on what's right for you, and really take charge as much as possible of your life, it's just amazing. This is probably my favorite module, except for maybe the effortless energy where we focus on sleep. Yes, glorious, glorious sleep that none of us ever get enough of. And a lot of the reason why we're not successful with our diet or exercise, or we feel crappy at work, or we're crabby with our kids, is because of lack of sleep. And if we're stressed out, we don't sleep very well. If we're not eating right, we don't sleep very well. If we don't sleep very well, we're not eating right, we're not exercising right. I mean, it just so hinges on sleep. Once you get your sleep aligned, everything else really falls into place. And I struggled with putting this one first as module 1 because I really want you all to get your sleep in. But I kind of, the way it's sussed out, sleep and stress relief are coming in at module 5, and none too soon, for sure. If you know your body clock, you will know when to do certain things. You will know what practices are right at what times of day. You will be able to revamp your schedule, redo your sleep habits, your morning routine, your afternoon routine, your evening routine. You'll be able to work in your hours of business and focus and of creativity and play and of rest and rejuvenation. And your day will just float on by, I promise. And then we're going to wrap it up with a big golden bow with gratitude, and learning how gratitude practice will affect every aspect of your life, whether that's weight loss or stress relief or work presentations. Gratitude is fundamental. And then talking about setting bigger goals. So this whole next few weeks, I'm going to keep on talking about the 90-day goals. And with the Think Big Success System, you get some motivation and accountability exercises that will keep you on track. And I want those goals to not just be to walk 5 miles a day, but maybe to walk 5 miles a day and do an hour of yoga every day, if that's what you want. Maybe there's, some other kind of self-care in there, or maybe there's some other kind of level you want to take it to. What were mine that I just wrote today? 20 sun salutations a day, rolling on that. It just becomes what you do. I email you bonus tips. Every module gets its own set of bonus tips. And also every week, kind of take what you're already doing and really refine it. So I have the basic membership. That's the online course. You get everything I just described, the weekly live webinars, all of the routines, guidelines, meditation, mindset. It's all there for you. I walk you through with emails for each module, and then I also invite you to the weekly webinars. There's homework feedback. There's the Facebook group. I can't really think of any other ways to keep involving you, although I'm going to try. That in itself, if you just did the basic membership, you would see some really huge shifts in what you're doing. You'll at least figure out what you're doing that isn't working for you. That will become very evident. And you'll be able to make some really, really great progress towards changing your habits and reaching your goals. It's amazing. If you feel like you want a little bit more help and want to move from 0 to 60, or and really amp up that performance and get to those goals even faster, the private membership offers 3 sessions with me, 1 hour each. We can do it by the phone, or if you're here in my local area, I'm happy to have you here in my office, but most of the time I do these over the phone. And I specifically look at what you're doing and I tell you, okay, you see what you're doing here? See how you're missing this opportunity here? See how your mindset isn't working for you here? We go way above and beyond the homework feedback, and I show you your self-sabotage. I show you those emotional and mental patterns that are keeping you stuck. I give you tons of motivation and accountability because I'm on your ass. I'm just like, all right, did you do your homework? How you doing on sleep? How you doing on exercise? We go through modules 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6 together in our session, and you report to me with your feedback. It's really fun, actually. I'm super fun to work with, I think. I'm very down to earth, and I will give you specific, actionable steps that make it, very productive for you. Totally personalized. I'm not just going to shove a plan in your face. We're going to figure it out together. So, I know that all sounds like a lot, but honestly, if you were to put as much attention on your health and well-being as you put on everything else would get so much better. So what I just described to you there, in the past, I've sold it for $769, absolutely, with the 3 separate sessions, the online course. Definitely, I've charged probably even more than that in the past for this, but I don't know. I really want you to have this. The basic membership, it just couldn't be easier. And I just, when I see people who are like, oh, Vicki, I should come see you. And I'm just like, what's going on with you in our strategy session? And they're like, well, my sleep is off and I don't eat very well. I have no idea what I'm doing exercise-wise. I really want to get meal prep as something that I do. My schedule is out of control. And I'm just like, hold your horses. You don't need to spend a ton of money booking private sessions with me, because my high performance coaching sessions, they're 90 minutes. We get real deep into it. But you'd spend a lot to get all of this information in just 3 easy monthly payments of $116.33. Boom, boom, boom. And you will get so much info and so much. It would be like you had 20 some sessions with me at least. And you're in for your lifetime. So you can always be accessing this info. It's going to be something that really guides you and gives you a clear path to success. And like I said, if you really want to take it up, I will offer my 3 1-hour private sessions. So not quite my 90-minute sessions, but 1-hour sessions with the online course, lifetime access, 3 payments of $156.33. Hello. And like I said, we'll go through module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. I'm going to give you awesome strategies. I'm going to help you customize everything. It really couldn't be easier. And as soon as you just sort of grab this offer, you're going to be so happy that you did, because I am going to immediately give you access to the online course and start walking you through the process. And it's all on your own pace, but I do encourage you and keep you going so that you move through it in a timely manner. So I can't wait to get working with you. And if you're wondering, yes, absolutely, 100% money back guarantee, 7 days of enrolling. If you do the homework for module 1, submit it to me within 7 days and you don't like it, 100% money back guarantee. Boom and boom. I will, though, help you to figure out how we can make this work for you, because I really don't think that this is out of anyone's reach, that this wouldn't help. Everybody needs help on sleep, on stress relief, on drinking water, on knowing what foods to eat and what exercises to do for their body types. What is the best way to get actionable results? And I'm going to show it all to you, whether you do the 349 or the 469. I am here for you. I want you to get started today. So look below for the link to grab the Mind Body Blueprint, and we'll get started. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Until next week, on our next Wellness Wednesday workshop, where I'm going to show you 90 days of easy, simple, delicious, and nutritious meal planning designed to help you cut 500 calories a day. How about that? Stay tuned, stay with me, and until then, be well. Namaste.